こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日は米国のボーディングスクール特集ということで、アルファアドバイザーズでは最近アメリカ、イギリス、スイス、各国あるんですけれど、ボーディングスクール、日本でいうと中学3年生とか高校1年生から留学をするということがとても増えてきています。で、学校選びとか出願に関してご相談いただくことも非常に多いんですが、今日はアメリカ、コネチカットにあるトップボーディングスクールですね。ノースフィールドマウントハーモンスクールという学校からアドミッションの方、そして在校生の方が来てくれています。で、今日またお話ししていただきますが、非常に素晴らしい環境で、アメリカの東海岸のボーディングスクールは、広大な土地もそうですし、もうとにかく先生の質、皆さんね、PhD を持っていたりとか、専門性を極めている、もう教育界のトップという形で、かつ非常に少人数な学びが、特にアメリカのボーディングスクールの特徴です。だいたい5、6人、5人から10人くらいの生徒さんに対して先生が1人ついて、もう日本では考えられないぐらいの濃密な教育が行われています。で、皆さんね、このボーディングスクールの世界をもっともっと知っていただきたいと思いますし、もうぜひ、挑戦していただいて、そこから特に今日来ていただいたノースフィールドマウントハーモンスクールも IB リーグ、それからパブリック IB とか、アメリカのトップスクールにもたくさんの生徒さんを輩出しています。プログラムの詳細とか、あと在校生の方にも今日は来ていただいているので、よくね、どんな学校の様子かわかるかなと思います。アルファアドバイザーズでは今まで17年間、様々な留学、キャリアのサポートをしてきました。最近はやはりお子さんを早いうちから海外に行かせたい、海外の教育に触れさせたいというご相談をたくさんいただいてます。日本から海外に行く方もいらっしゃいますし、すでにアメリカとかイギリスとかスイスとかアジアとかですね、いろんな地域にいらっしゃるお子様が今度アメリカとかイギリスのボーディングスクールに行く例もあります。で、ボーディングスクールもアメリカだけでもたくさんありますし、もう各校、本当にいろいろな特徴があります。もうこれは訪問してみないとなかなかわからないので、今年の夏、ご要望も多いので、皆さんでね、またツアーも行こうと思ってます。アルファでは年に何回か行って、アドミッションの方といつも、普段はメールなんかでやり取りさせていただいているんですが、直接お会いして、アルファのね、個別指導を受けていただいている生徒さんをおつなぎしたりとか、ここの学校いいですよって言ってお勧めしたりしてます。アルファはもう留学業者ではないので、なんか恣意的にお勧めすることはないんですけど、やはり皆さんのお子さんの性格とか、将来目指す目標によって、本当に学校選びは大事です。で、海外の、例えば IB リーグとか、リベラルアーツカレッジを受験するときも、どの学校にいるのかとか、じゃあその中でどのぐらいの順位、成績を取っているのかっていうところも重要なので、いろいろね、考慮すべき点はあるんですけれども、とにかく学校選びはぜひご相談ください。なんかね、自分で選んでしまって、相談いただいた時にはすでにもうボーディングスクールにいたり、あるいは公立の学校にいたりして、いや、相談してくれてればね、もっといい学校あったのにっていう事例がたくさんありますので、いろいろとね、皆さん情報収集される方も多いと思うんですけれども、一応アルファの意見聞いておこうかなっていう感じで、間違いなくボーディングスクールも、その後の大学も、そこからつながるキャリアも、アルファはすべて見てきてますので、いつでもご相談ください。で、海外の大学、それからボーディングスクールも出願ですね。学校選びからエッセイを書くところ、面接、あとは学校との関係構築とか、キャンプスビジットもすべてサポートしてます。で、その後の就職活動、キャリアもサポートしているのが、非常にアルファのユニーク、かつ実はとっても重要なポイントですので、他の動画でもキャリアの話はしているので、ぜひご覧になってみてください。で、ボーディングスクールの選び方とか、今小さいお子さんですと2歳からやはり将来の進路、キャリアを見据えて、どういう進み方、インターに行くのか、公立の小学校に行くのか、英語学習はどうするのか、課外活動はどうするのか、本当に小さなお子さんからご相談のご両親の方からいただいております。小さい頃からの積み重ねが、今度ボーディングスクールに行くまでの皆さんの お子さんの人生の軌跡を作っていきますので、早めに相談していただいて、一度はね、ちょっと早めにアルファの意見聞いておこうっていう形で来ていただいて、でそこでいろいろお子さんも交えてお話ししながら、年間を通してサポートすることもできます。ぜひいつでもご相談ください。ご相談はこちらのボックスに入れていただければと思います。はい。では早速、今日ですね、来ていただいたノースフィールドマウントハーモンスクールの在校生の方、アドミッションの方と進めていこうと思います。Thank you, Mera, for your time today.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you here today. And could you start your presentation?
Sure, absolutely. I'm so glad, Emmy, that you shared those schools because Northfield Mount Hermon is actually part of, as I start this, a group of schools called the 8-School Association. And so that 8-School Association is Northfield Mount Hermon, St. Paul's, sorry, as I move this over here, St. Paul's, Andover, Exeter, Choate, Hotchkiss, Taft, and Deerfield. So it's a really cool way that we collaborate together. But of course, today I get to talk about our wonderful school and why you might find yourself at Northfield Mount Hermon. So Northfield Mount Hermon was, founded in 1879, and we talk about why people come here. And it's because people are interested in changing the world with their big ideas. And I'm kicking this off with this picture of Angus Chang. Angus Chang won an award last year, a science award, because he worked on this light bulb that is created and powered by algae, and it can clean the air at the same time as produce electricity. So if you have big ideas like that and want to think about how you can learn to think critically and change the world, that's what Northfield Mount Hermon does. We've had all, yep.
Sorry, Boga, you. I think we cannot see your screen.
Oh, you can't see it? Oh, Aya's like, oh, Meta, what is happening?
Yeah.
Hold on, let's try this again.
Yes, please.
Let's see.
Yeah, take your time.
We'll try going back. All right, now can you see it?
Yes, yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yay! Aya's like, oh God, here we go again. You guys will meet Aya. I'm so excited. So here we are at Northfield Mount Hermon. And I was just talking about Angus Chang, this young man who graduated last year. And part of what he did was this light bulb is powered by algae, essentially. And that can clean the air and also use, it generates electricity. So if you're thinking about these great big ideas, that's what we want you to do. And people have come to us from all over the world. And if you actually look, our first Japanese student actually came to us in 1885. You guys, 1885 is still when there are dynasties and emperors in power. Like, that is a long time for students to be here. So you'll meet Aya in a little bit, but she's looking back and she's going, okay, it's 2025, and these people came so long ago and helped pave the way for her. Here's the young gentleman of 1899, and this just shows you like the impact of one person. This is actually, okay, don't kill me if I say this wrong, Genzaburo Ishikawa. Is that good? Was that good? I did that right? Great. Ishikawa was one of the first people to play basketball in this country, right? And what's really cool is he documented the first basketball game here in Springfield by drawing the picture of it. And it's this famous picture that hangs now in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But why you think about why people have been coming to NMH for so long, and it's really our mission. And our mission is we take your talents and empower you to act with humanity and purpose. That's really big thing to ask 14 and 15-year-olds. What is my purpose? What does humanity mean? What do these pillars mean of inclusivity, learning for life, and service, right? So we'll share with you a little bit about why that's important. But the basics, of course, we have 630 students. We're 23% international. Of our Japanese students, what do we have now? Do we have 12 Japanese kids on a campus?
Yeah, we have like 13.
Whoa, 13. And we're excited to have 6 more coming on campus. Of course, we have some graduating next year. But we actually, this is a little bit wrong. We have 63 countries, involved on campus. So if you're talking about a school that is looking to care for international students, I think NMH really thinks hard about how best to do that. We are a school that's pretty big of 630, but our student-teacher ratio is 6-1. So everyone has an advisor, and we'll talk about that a little bit, where we meet weekly as a group and also individually during the week. Yesterday was our last advising group of the year, so I took my advisees out for ice cream, and we just got to hang out and check in before exams start next week. But it's a way for us to build relationships with adults. That said, there are people who have relationships with many different adults on campus and not just their advisor. Here we are in the little corner up here in Massachusetts. We're about 3 hours north of New York City and about 2 hours west of Boston. And we sit up on this mountaintop on about 600 acres of just beauty. So I think what makes us unique at Northfield Mount Hermon is how we deliver our program. As we said, we have these pillars of academic excellence, a student-centered community, and we teach our students what it means to have strong citizenship, not just in their own individual value system, but how it relates to other people and how they move forward. So we're making kids this world has been really, really difficult lately, politically, emotionally, especially here in the United States. And it's our job as faculty on this campus to really make sure that our students are following a value system that we believe in as well. So I thought I'd share a video with you first. Good? Okay.
I think you need to make it looser.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Watch us. I watch us like get us before we go.
This right here, I would be careful about putting too dark.
Okay. Yeah.
This is completely changes perspective.
So where do we get a 2? Is it here?
Yeah, because F3 is 2.
Yeah.
They're way too dramatic.
But you using your Apollo. Killing it.
The setting of NMH is unparalleled to that of any other school. It's just an unbelievably beautiful campus, and it makes the academic life better because you get to wake up with this beautiful view every morning.
My favorite thing about Northfield Mount Hermon is the opportunity it's afforded me to not just be pigeonholed as just an athlete or just an academic, but to be able to expand my reach to be a musician and play 3 varsity sports and excel in so many areas of school life.
I came to NMH from a really small school and I was really nervous when I came, but I think what has surprised me the most about myself is that I can expand to the environment that I'm in, and I think NMH helped me do that.
When I came to NMH, I didn't know if I'd fit in. And I think something I've learned at NMH is how to be unapologetically myself. And I'm really happy that I've learned that NMH has supported me, because now I'm able to carry that into college and be able to be very comfortable with who I am as a person and what I love to do.
I came here and I felt grounded. I felt like I finally had some sort of anchor and security. I just love that feeling so much. Just everybody is just so supportive of you doing what you want to do with your life, and to provide any resource they can to help you get there. And that's something I could have never gotten in any public school or even probably most private schools. It's incredible.
You're encouraged to try new things. In fact, if you are willing to work hard and you push yourself to succeed, then you will. And I think that's an invaluable asset that NMH has.
To me, the head, the heart, and the hand has been central to everything I've done at this school. It's what really separates NMH from the rest of the boarding school world. Here, it's not just about educating how to act, but it's also about what your intentions are and how you treat your fellow students and your peers at this place and how you treat people in the outside world.
The opportunities you'll have here, you can't get them anywhere else. And I think that if I were to do it again 1,000 times, I'd pick NMH.
So as you see, our students are really busy in our campus, and our schedule is a little different than most boarding schools. What we have is a schedule that's based on a college program. It's called the College Model Academic Program, where we do it in 2 semesters. The first semester, you take 3 classes and complete those by December. And then in January, when you come back from winter break, we take 3 new classes. Our classes are typically longer than what you might have. I know some Japanese classes are as short as 45 minutes, so ours are almost twice as long. But here's what a typical schedule looks like. So A, B, C, and D are your academic blocks. E is your co-curricular or your sports block. And then you go in to have dinner, have rehearsals, and club time right before study hall. So what does this mean? Here's what he's saying. One great thing about this is that our faculty, I heard that in some classes around the world, there's up to 60 students in a class. In our classes, the max would be 15, but it's typically around 11 or 12 students in a class. Our teachers only teach 2 classes a day, which means they're only working with about 30 students in total, right? So that means if a student needs extra time or wants time to be with their teachers to get to know the material better, we have time. Right before this, Aya was texting me to figure out a time that we could chat today. You know, she and I were going through our schedules. It's really common for students to text us and say, hey, can I have some of your time? And we find time to make it happen. We do not have an AP program at Northfield Mount Hermon. The AP program is really limited, which means, let's say if you're focusing on the AP US History exam, the AP US History exam hasn't been updated in many, many years. And the last date that is asked on the AP exam is about the 70s. Right? So if you're only asking a test up to 1970s, what about the last 50 years of US history? America is a very, very young country, so not learning about 50 years is a really big deal. I can't even imagine not talking about the last 4 years or the last 10 years. So we teach an advanced scholar program, which means we go beyond what the AP courses teach you. We do offer the AP exams, which happened last week, and students did take them here, but we're not tied to just teaching what the test gives. We're able to go beyond that. So this is a list of our advanced courses, and as you can see, they're in everything from art to computer science. They're in music, but they're in every single subject that we offer. And of course, our students, you know, sometimes get stressed, but sometimes need just guidance, pat on the back. And this is what I was talking about with our advisor system. We put our students in the middle, and there's a connection, a collection of adults who surround the student to take care of them. It's your faculty members that teach you, but it's also your dorm staff who live with you, your coaches, your art faculty, just people that you've developed friendships with over the time, right? We also have a work job on campus. We have every student is required to give back and do service on our campus. And this is 3 hours a week. You could be working on our farm like these students who are tapping for maple syrup. You could also be in the mailroom putting mail away, but you could also serve as a tour guide. Our students are the ones who can deliver our message the best. And they are all over campus working and collaborating both with each other and us as faculty to move this campus. So whether you're doing a lot of visual arts, or you're performing and dancing, trying out a new sport, or mastering a sport that you want to do in college, the end of the day is always ending in the dorm. The dorm is where the life is really happening, where you're hanging out with your friends in the lounge, watching the latest Netflix, or doing group studies in the lounge because you had crushing for a test together. But it's where you're creating bonds that, for me as a boarding school student, are the most important. And it works. Our program works because we know that our students had over 230 colleges accepted this year. I'm an alum from 1993, so I went through this program, but I was really honored that my daughter also just became a senior, and she's going to one of these great schools that's up here on this list. But students are coming from all over the world. We have students going to school in Italy. We have students going to school in Scotland as well. We've had a number of students that have gone back actually to go to Waseda or Tokyo University, schools back in Japan, because of what they want to do in the future. So I'll let you take a look at this. Is the last 7 years of class. Of course, we don't have this year's finalized because it just came out on May 1st, but you can take a look at some of where the last 7 years of our students have been going. And we know that's working with our international students, because if you look in this right corner, all the way in the front, this is Chan Lun Tong. Chan Lun Tong was our first graduate actually from mainland China. He graduated in 1892. He was the first Chinese student to leave Northfield Mount Hermon. He was the first Chinese student accepted at Harvard University and graduate from Harvard. So we've had these long relationships with Ivy League schools and high-end colleges through our program. So we hope that you take a chance to look at Northfield Mount Hermon's program and see who you want to be on campus. There are students who discover themselves here, who continue to follow their passions that they've had, but also discover new ones. So yeah, and that is Northfield Mount Hermon. We hope to see your face on campus as you visit us. And now I get this wonderful thing of introducing Aya as I stop my share. Aya, do you want to introduce yourself in English and Japanese for me?
Hey, hi, I'm Aya Weiser. This is my first year at NMH, but I'm from Tokyo, Japan, and I am currently a sophomore, 10th grade at NMH.
What do you like to do on campus?
I've been going on walks lately because the campus is really beautiful and the weather has been nice. And
what activities are you involved in?
I do rowing in the fall and the spring, and then I do varsity swimming in the winter.
Okay. Japanese?
皆さん、こんにちは。あやと申します。今年 NMH に入学して、今10年生、日本でいう高1なんですけど、最近はすごい天気もよく、友達と散歩をしながら日々楽しんでいる感じです。すごいキャンパスも綺麗なので、もう最近は春になってきたので、緑がたくさんあって、すごい綺麗なんですけど、スポーツ、NMH では、なんて言うんだろう。2つスポーツリクワイアメントっていうのを 2シーズンスポーツをしなきゃいけないので、私は冬に、泳いで、春と秋はローイングってそのボートを漕ぐことをしました。
Thank you. Thank you. So, Emmy, I didn't know if you had questions for us or if people have questions for us at all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for very impressive presentation. And actually, I'm so surprised to like Aya from Japan. I really know in that moment. Thank you.
Oh, good.
So I have a few questions at first.
Sure.
So for the at first admission process, so what parts of the applicant's aspects and what kind of skill in including English fluency are you looking for in the applicants?
Yeah, so I think the English depends on what grade you're coming in. We do have ESL on campus, but it is more of a bridge program. So you have to have some working English. Our TOEFL for the 9th grade can be about 80, but when you're coming in for 11th grade, because we accept in 9th, 10th, 11th, and postgraduate, you have to be coming in pretty much fluent. So I would think, and I would love Aya to share her insight about this. If you're coming in sophomore or junior year, I would say our writing is very hard. We have a program called our humanities program, which is our world religions and our world history together. I think it's the hardest class on campus. That's just my opinion, because there's so much writing. So you have to be pretty comfortable with working on your writing. So your English needs to be there. But starting freshman year, we have a lot more support start in your freshman year. And sophomore year, we kind of see what you've learned. And then 11th grade, we kind of pick you back up and say, okay, you're cooked. Let's start getting you ready for college. Would you say that's true, Aya, that it's writing? Yeah.
Especially, this year, in my humanities class, I needed to write a research paper, but on top of the research paper, I had some like reports that I needed to turn in and essays. So there was a lot of writing.
Yeah. And you were coming from a Japanese school, right?
Yes.
And so
it was really hard.
That was a shift for you. In the application, I would say one of the most important aspects that we look at is actually the interview and your recommendations. We want to know how comfortable you are talking with adults, because the fact that we're here to support you, but also what your adults in your current school see about how you relate as a classmate. Are they just talking about, oh, that you're a good student? Or are they talking about you're a good student who looks to help others? Or they help with the discussion? Or they participate a lot? Those are things that we look at because we're looking to find students who are connecting with other people who are part of a community. In a school of 650, if you don't have the personality that you want to connect with other people, it's going to be hard for you to be successful here, because there's a lot of personality here, right? And we want you to be one of those personalities who grow here, but you have to choose to participate.
Thank you. So throughout the interview and like essay writing or recommendation review process, what do you look at like admission regarding some character or extracurricular activities or their like long-term goals and so on?
I would say the one thing we don't look at is long-term goals, right? Because you're 13, 14, 15 when you're applying, your goals could change by next week, right? So, And we hope they do. We hope that you explore and you change your mind many times because we know that you're trying new things and you're thinking, I still don't know what I want to do when I get older, right? I think the things that we look at is how brave you are, right? Which means how many things you're trying, what your motivation for coming to an American boarding school. Some students are because I'm really excited about going to college in America, or I'm finding my school too narrow and not enough challenge, or I want a different type of education, right? Other students are like, I want to be the best swimmer, so I'm going to come and join the swim team. Or they want to say, I've never gone skiing before, or I want to try a new instrument. So I want to see that kids are interested in growing and expanding themselves. And it takes a lot of bravery to do that at a young age.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And yeah, I saw the amazing environment facilities in your presentation and videos. So what do you think, what parts of your school differentiate your boarding school compared to other boarding school in Connecticut?
We're in Massachusetts, number one. But I would say that, we just built a new science center that opened 2 years ago. Cost $35 million to build. So, our students who are on the robotics team just came from the World Championships in Dallas. We just had 46 students sign contracts to play sports in college. There's actually one of our alumni plays, I'm going to look him up real quick, plays basketball in Japan on the Tokyo, Alvar Tokyo. So Kai Taves is plays basketball in Tokyo. And then there's students who, excuse me, take classes online with Juilliard and Boston Conservatory musicians. So we're doing things across the board at a very high level. Aya, what makes you think NMH stand out?
Definitely the opportunities that is like offered. I was talking with my advisor yesterday about this, but it's really hard to not be involved in anything at NMH, especially there's some requirements that you need to fulfill to graduate, and just a lot of people are just welcoming, and they let you try out new stuff even if you've like never done it. So definitely the opportunities that are offered here is a big part of the NMH community, I think.
I think, Emmy, also our students are kind. They're different. They're how do I say this? Boarding school is a very expensive thing to invest in for families. With that becomes a lot of privilege and expectation. And our kids don't come with that kind of expectation, right? They give back to the community. That's the first priority. So I just think our kids are different as well.
Yeah, amazing. Actually, I have seen lots of boarding school, and they have a very different kind of character of the students and their atmosphere. And yeah, I think it's a very important point to go to the school that have good fit to their students.
Absolutely.
And I have a question to Aya. Can I ask a question to you?
Yes.
So you had the education in Japan before going to going to MNH. So are you in international school or some public or private school in Japan?
I was in a private school in Japan, in Tokyo, and yeah,
Which
So,
one? Which one,
A
Aya?
Ewa, Toyo Ewa.
oh, yeah, I know where that. So,
Yeah.
could you share your thought or experience about the difference between the Japanese education style or like, student character and that of
Yeah, I definitely see the difference, or like I love how at NMH the classrooms are way smaller, which, as Mata said, it gives you more opportunity to ask your teachers questions. Back in Japan, there was 40 people in my class. And also I like how every class you have different people. And so like in Japan you have your tani and you have your class, and you kind of move with that class. But here you do have your grade class, but you only meet each other once in a while as a whole group, and you're more individually going to your classes depending on your academic level, which and then I really like, because that makes you like that lets you meet a lot of more new people, like people outside of your grade. And so like it's most of my friends, or a lot of my friends, are not even in my grade, but I get to bond with them through many stuff that we go through together. um Definitely there's a big difference, or a lot of back in Japan, all my friends' parents were really strict and they were really hyper focused on academics. Obviously, a lot of people are really focused on academics here too, but since um the school kind of forces you to be involved in a lot of things, the conversations we have is more than academics. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing theater. Oh, I'm doing sports. Like there's so many other conversations that you're able to have besides academics with your friends.
Yeah, so you have a very diverse experience, and obviously there are lots of students from all over the world. It's different, I think. Yeah, thank you. And also, what made you decide to go boarding school, not continue school life in Japan, and especially anime?
Well, the reason I picked NMH was well, my mom came here and I visited the campus, and I just fell in love with the campus. And also I met the teachers. I went to summer session in NMH. So I actually had an opportunity to meet the teachers and be in a classroom setting at NMH. And it was just like an amazing experience to have. The teachers were oftentimes, well, back in Japan, I needed to go to the teacher to ask for help. And sometimes I felt like, oh, they weren't really open to questions. But um NMH, or yeah, what I've experienced here is the teachers are really willing to help you. They even give you your phone number if you need them to, so you could like directly contact them. And also, I don't know, I left my dad wanted me to pursue an education in the US. So that is one of the reasons why I left. But also coming to the US, you kind of you get more opportunities as compared to when you were in Japan. It's kind of limited. Your opportunities to work on is kind of limited. And I came to boarding school because I have a hard time bonding with people or like making friends. But I thought, oh, if I live in the same place as them, it won't be that hard, which is it's a way to think about it. And it was kind of true. Like a lot of my close friends lives in my dorm and we just hang out all the time. But yeah.
So you enjoyed school life in NMH and also in dorm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thank you.
I mean, I think one cool thing too about NMH is yes, the international students are still a smaller population than the domestic students, but we have a nice group of international students, so they can get together, typically it's around food. So like this Saturday, we had like a dessert fest before, a dance concert, and like a number of different countries made different desserts from their countries that everyone in the community could come and get and just try, which was really great. You know, so it was everything from mango lassis to fried bananas, and it was delicious and great. The Japanese students have, well, we don't have a Japanese faculty on campus. We do have a faculty member who grew up in Japan. Her mom taught at Seisen, so she went to Seisen, and so she runs the Japanese Students Association, and they gather, but she also runs the Asian American Student Association that some of those students are part of as well, and they gather together too. So it's just another way that NMH helps develop community, which is nice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that kind of community activity, then can get together and do some enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we have questions from the audience about class style and and the class selection. So what is a teaching style looks like? Is it a small group discussion style, or if they are also a lecture style class? And do most of students take AP courses? I think there is a lot of AP elective in your presentation.
Yeah, again, we don't teach APs. We teach NMH Advanced program, which goes beyond the APs. But all our classes are taught in roundtable discussion style.
Okay. And what kind of support do you offer to for college admission process? Do you have any school counselor or
Yeah, we have 6 college counselors on campus. Starting their junior year, they take a class, a college counseling class that teaches them how to look at colleges, what colleges, what's the difference between a college and a university, for instance. So we talk about different personality types and what that might lead to for your future. So that starts in junior year. We have a college fair that we have about 200 colleges throughout the year who come to campus, either through a college fair or through visits. We also bring students, if they're interested. Deerfield Academy is about 20 minutes down the road, and we bring students to their college fair as well. But yeah, so that's the college process.
Okay, thank you. So that's all for the question parts.
Great.
So in the closing remark, could you share?
Awesome. Yeah, I totally forgot one thing. I mean, our college counselors also are a part of our faculty. So they live on campus. They're in the dorms. They're coaches. You know, so there are some colleges that only have 2 college counselors and that's all they do. But when our college counselor is then going to write a recommendation, they're going to write them because they know them in math class, or they know them from the dorm, or they've created as a class parent a relationship that way. So I think that's also what's unique about our college counseling team, that they start working with them in actually starting freshman year. And during the 9th grade year, we say, don't think about college. Your job is to make friends. Your job is to create good study skills and executive functioning skills to get your laundry done. Because if we can't fix those your first year here, then the rest of the time is going to be difficult. Sophomore year, then they start taking and learning how to take a standardized test. They take a practice PSAT. And then junior year, as I said, they get matched with a college counselor, and that college counselor stays with them until through their senior year.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good to hear that. I think it's great to not to focus on college admission process from the very first of the school life in like 9th grade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Aya, any last thoughts you want to share?
Um, I love the campus. That's I honestly that is one of the best parts of NMH. It's just you walk everywhere, so you get in your steps and I love the beautiful we see mountains from here. So and then the skies are oftentimes so pretty too. The campus is a
Aya,
really
what's the
pretty
food
place.
like? Do you like the food?
Yeah. Like even if I don't like something that is served, I could always go to the salad bar and get my favorite salad combo. So there's always alternates.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Emmy.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think Aya enjoy very much the school. Yeah, that's it. That is everything, I think. Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for the
Bye,
presentation.
you guys. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank
Take care.
you.
Now, thank you. はい。ということでね、学校のプレゼンテーションをちゃんと、きっちり、たっぷりしていただきましたけれども、また、夏ですね。この夏、8月の末に、ボーディングスクールツアー行きたいと思います。今日ご紹介した NMH もそうですし、テンスクールとか、結構リクエストがあるんで、各学校回っていきたいと思います。意外とね、日本人の方も、さっきのあやさんもそうなんですけど、アルファからは結構行ってて、なかなか、日本では、なかなか話題にならないところではあるんですけど、教育投資もボーディングスクールはかかるんですけれども、本当に素晴らしい環境なので、ぜひ興味がある方は、ツアーもアルファでも組んで一緒に見に行くこともできますし、まずはどういう準備が必要なのかとか含めて、ぜひご相談ください。では、皆さんからのご相談もお待ちしております。それでは、失礼します。